Friends, thank you for welcoming me here. I am really very happy to join the family of MSMEs. I have heard many of the previous speakers, and one thing is common in the talks of many of you, and that is that many of you feel that this job is not very high profile, this ministry is not very recognized, and the task which you are doing is not recognized in the normal course of administration. Friends, I have been in government for a fairly long time, and I can say that there is no reason to feel like that. You should not feel that you are not doing a very high profile job, and particularly in this situation, MSME sector is very important. You might be knowing, I have been told by my predecessor secretary that there are around 6 to 7 crore MSMEs in the country. If you add 2-3 workers and at least 2-3 family members, the minimum average depending on a MSME unit, the number of people depending on a MSME unit would come to around 4 or 5. So around 25-30 crore people of this country depend on the sector which you are managing and helping. Think of your reach, think of your access, and think of the dependency of the people on this ministry. It's almost 1/4 or 1/5 of the population which depends on this sector. And particularly the people who depend on these units, they are not very big people. They are generally small people, marginalized people. And in this situation, you might be hearing the news in the TV that many of them, they are in such a situation, they are not able to organize even 2 meals for themselves. This includes owners, this includes vendors, and this includes family members of those owners. Currently, as you know, we are passing through a very, very difficult time. This is not the biggest socio-economic challenge for India, or not only a challenge for the world, but I feel that this is the biggest challenge ever in the human civilization. And those who are already on the margins, they are the worst sufferers. The poor and the marginalized are the worst sufferers. So your task and my task is to help this category of people. So take my words, you are not doing a lesser job or a low profile job. And while I have come in this situation, I have a few tasks at my hand which I have set myself as my own agenda, and I take this opportunity to tell all of you about the same. Friends, the first and foremost thing for us would be to save the backbone of these units, MSME units, and the backbone of those entrepreneurs who run these units. Because रीढ़ की हड्डी बची रहेगी तो बाद में वो खड़ा हो जाएगा. And along with that, the second task would be to see that those units are not lost, those jobs are not lost, and they sail through this difficult time. The third thing would be to discover some good opportunities, to use this crisis as an opportunity and to make our MSMEs to take those opportunities and supply certain things either in the national market or in the international market. I can tell you one episode from my own personal experience. I have been asked by the government to be a member of one of the COVID management groups, group number 3, and that group number 3 is for procuring the medical equipments like PPE, masks, ventilators, etc. When we started the meetings, I was shocked and surprised to know that there is no capacity in this country to make PPEs or even the masks. As small an item, like a mask. So it was a shocking exposure, and everything was being ordered from being imported. But the other surprise is that within very few days, we could connect the dots, we could organize and we could coordinate with certain players, and now we are producing almost more than a lakh PPEs per day. So it's just a question of connecting certain dots, connecting certain processes, and perhaps that is one of the most important jobs. After we have dealt with this crisis, and after we have been able to save certain units, almost all units and the jobs, our next important task would be to create something big for the country, some big companies, and after passing successfully through this urgent situation, I would say that the important task at our hand would be to create certain big companies. Friends, I have come here with a mission and with a passion of helping the country in creating some big companies. In these very premises, in these very rooms, in the premises of our SME clusters, can we grow some apples? Not this apple which we eat, but this apple through which we talk. I have my dream and my vision and my passion to create Apples, to create Googles, and to create Microsofts in this country out of our MSMEs. You must have heard a lot about the discussion as to why India can't create such organizations and such companies. And also, I would like to say that you might be aware that Apple was born out of a garage. Similar would be the story of many big corporations, many big companies. I can say from my experience that even Mercedes, Airbus or IKEA at some point of time would have been an SME. Even McDonald's or Starbucks would have started as an SME, and today you know their market cap and their revenues and their valuation. So friends, believe me, these companies which today are big, they must have started sometime as a small company, and it is a process of nurturing them, it's a process of helping them and making them big. I can also say that a country's economy is as robust as its companies. You might be knowing that in rich countries, rich economies, there are a handful of companies which contribute a handsome amount, a handsome proportion of GDP in those countries. Not only that, you might be also aware that almost 3 to 4% individuals on this earth, they control more than 90% of the wealth of the planet Earth. So how does this happen? How have they been able to do this? It is through successful companies, good companies, and they make value out of those companies and out of those processes. So there is no alternative for a country to make a robust economy. If you want to make a robust economy, you have to make robust companies. For the moment, since we are in a very drastic situation, we have to work hard. We can't relax even for a moment. We can't sleep peacefully even for one night. I am myself not at peace when I visualize people who are about to sleep even without food. So it is my earnest request to all of you to be always alert, watchful, and to help our MSME units in this situation of crisis. Every day and every hour, we should try to save one company, we should try to save certain jobs, and we should try to to save certain opportunities from being extinguished or from being vanquished.